Is it that Christians have just stopped doing their job and that's why the world is in such a mess these days? Coming up next on Pastor Bob's Coffee Break. Every saint has a past, every sinner has a future. Isn't that a great mug? It's our mug of the month. It's our poster of the month. And you can get them all right here at wearemetalwearefamily.com, along with a lot of other cool stuff. So, here's the question for today. Dear Pastor Bob, I'm tired of apathetic Christians. If we had fought a little harder, we would not be in this mess. We need to get more serious. We need to work together. We need to work harder, We need to be less sinful. How do we get Christians to wake up and get to work? Well, there you go. And if that were the answer, it would be simple. You say, Pastor Bob, it is the answer. Well, it's part of one. But I'm going to go back to an early poster that we did a few months ago, and it's this one. Love, love, love. Love God, love others, love you. You know, when Jesus was asked what the most important commandment was, he gave this one. Why? He could have said anything. He could have said all kinds of stuff about, what kind of work you have to do to resist Satan, or how you become a real motivational force in the world, and so many different things that seem to have such huge possibilities, and yet he said, love, love, love. What's up with that? Well, he knew that was the answer. He knew that every law of the prophets, Old Testament, New Testament, everything was based on this one principle. Love, love, love. What does it have to do with world events? What does it have to do with the mess that we see around us right now? And how do we begin to be a force for change? Love, love, love. Folks, an amazing thing happens when you fall in love with people. You change and they change. When you can look somebody in the eye and say, I love you, I care about you. Even though you're a Republican, even though you're a Democrat, even though you're a fill in the blank. When people know that you love them no matter what. I think that when we try to do violence against violence or judgment against violence, the spiritual man judges all things, yet he himself is judged of no man. Why is that? 1 Corinthians 2. Because judgment isn't the thing. Love is. Being guided by the Holy Spirit is. For the Spirit searches all things, even the deep things of God, 1 Corinthians 2. Wow, that's important. Why is that important? Because that's where we make a dent. When I can go up to somebody and say, I love you, not I want to fight you, not you're a miserable person, not I disagree with your politics, your theology, your fill in the blank. But when I can honestly say, I love you, let's start there. That's a game changer. And folks, it's the very thing that Christ asked us to do with each other, because it's the very thing that's attractive and the thing that people want the most. My good friend James Hambrick, that I do the podcast with, The Odd Couple, he's the police chief here. And he did a sermon not very long ago called What the World Needs Now is Love, Sweet Love. It's the only thing that there's just too little of. Old Burt Bacharach song. Yeah. Not just for some, but for everyone. Wow. But you see, that's what we need, and that's what the world needs. And the world has always needed Jesus. In what form do they need Jesus? In judgment? No. In condemnation? No. In correction? Not necessarily. In love. People are one person at a time through love. Your unconditional love, which means it has to start with you. Folks, when we learn to unconditionally love people, where we look at them and we don't see politics, we don't see division, we don't see theological differences, we don't see all those things that we've learned to hate, supposedly. Christians have gotten really good at hating things. But when we look at people and we actually love them, and we see a person, and we feel the love of Christ through us for that person, and we love them, it's a game changer for us and for them, for us too. Let's talk about that for a minute. You know, I follow politics pretty closely. I don't talk about it very much, but I have my opinions. And all of us do. And when I see people that are reacting and acting according to the opposite of what my opinions are, well, a little ton of hairs on the back of my neck stand up a little bit. They do. And so I can look at a whole bunch of people and get upset with them. But when I begin to see people one-on-one, and this happens many times, I'm watching the news and I see these people that are acting up, and I look in their eyes and I look at who they are, and I begin to, instead of feeling disdain, all of a sudden feel compassion, because that's what Christ does. Every time he looks at anybody, he sees compassion, he sees love, he sees Jesus. Yeah. You know, that's my prayer for all of us, folks, is that we could really begin to love unconditionally. It's the thing that will change the world. So how do you change the world? Well, one person at a time. And begin by this. Begin by asking God to give you a heart of love instead of condemnation, love instead of judgment, love instead of agenda. Love. Unconditional love. Love that doesn't say, I'll love you if, I'll love you when, but just, I love you now. I love you. I don't know you, but I love you. And you feel it. And folks, I'll guarantee you that's what we need, and that's what I would love to see the church doing as it emerges from the from the smoldering ruins many times right now. I'd love to see us simply say, I love you, and I'm committed to that love for you. We'll talk about this more. I'd love to have your comments below. I think this is a worthy subject. I'd love to hear what you have to say. God bless you. Don't forget, you are blessed. Folks, you are blessed. We are, aren't we? So go and be a blessing.